Hi, everyone. Welcome back again to the final session of the day. I am really happy to see so many of you here, and I hope you will stay until the end. It's just going to be about half an hour long, and it is an interactive panel. So you are all invited to participate in a little quiz that we have made. And it is basically based on what we've been doing today, which is gender equality, of course. I'm sure a lot of you have different ideas. A lot of you come from different cultures. One of the good thing about the whole, obviously the whole Zoom situation is that the people I know here who are outside of Vienna, outside of Austria, even the people from different continents who are attending. So the idea of gender equality would be different, I'm assuming, for everyone. And so please stand by for a couple of minutes while we set up the video and the screen, the quiz for you, and we will start very soon. Thank you. Oh, we're ready actually. So my Vice President, Ms. Caroline Pastor, has already prepared a lovely little link for us. I will, on the group, sorry, to everyone, I will send a quick little link. Link the code. So to join Menti, you will have to follow the code. Yes, as you can see on the chat right now, you will see Menti, www.menti.com. And the code below is how you join the question in front of you right now. I will wait until you have done so. Cool. So I hope everyone has already signed in with the link right by now. And I do see that there's a couple of questions, and we will try to keep the questions towards the end if that's okay, because like I said, this is an interactive part and we are encouraging questions, but let's try a little quiz first, and then you are welcome to ask questions towards the end. Thank you. So let's go. Question 1. Yes, answer fast to get more points. Which following countries has a higher percentage of women in parliament? United Kingdom, Senegal, or Denmark? You have 9 seconds left. 5, 3, 2, 1, and everyone has voted. The correct answer is Senegal. I know it is surprising, but currently right now, Senegal has a 47% of women in parliament. Denmark is only at 36. United Kingdom is very far behind. Let us not get into the percentage of that right now. But surprisingly, that is one of the interesting things that I hope you will take away from today's conference, is that it is not always the more wealthy countries, the more developed countries that are actually encouraging gender equality, but it doesn't matter how much money a country has. It doesn't matter how much resource a country has. Gender equality comes from the grassroots, and Senegal is the proof of that. Moving on to the next question now. Oh, that's the second question. We have a bit of a technical issue. While that is getting fixed, why don't I allow, I think someone is raising a hand right now, Kelly Anderson. Why don't you take the floor to let us know your thoughts? Kelly Anderson?
Sorry, that's an accidental hand raise.
Oh, okay then, no problem. Let's move on to question 2 of the quiz. Question 2 of question 2. Yeah, Zoom can be quite funny because you're always waiting. There you go. What percentage is the average pay for men higher than the average pay of women? 32%, 27%, 10%, 0%. So there is such a thing as gender gap, I think, or we'll find out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time's up. It is not as high as you thought. It is actually at 10% right now, as was reported in 2018 in the document, overall around the globe. So obviously, the gender gap does not just refer to the pay that is being accumulated, but also in terms of the lifetime earnings. Because most women are docked of pay when they're pregnant, for example, or because they are busy doing household chores, most women are actually earning way less than their male counterparts, even though they have the same qualifications and they have the same jobs, same job description. And in many cases, it has been proven, especially at least in the United States, United Kingdom, and even in some Western European countries like Germany, when women are earning less, even than the ones below them who are male counterparts. And the reason for that is obviously not just about the capabilities, but also it depends on what the workplace believes the life self, the working self of the woman to be. That is to say, if they believe that the woman is young and therefore she is likely to get married in the future or have a baby in the future, you might not be getting paid as much as you would like as a man who is also getting married in the future, because a family man is a responsible man, but it's just a woman's job. And finally, the last question of the day. Question 3 of 3. How many women are let go or fired each year on average for being pregnant? 30,000 women, 5,000 women, or 15,000 women? Now, this is just overall the year, especially in Western Europe. 3, 2, 1. You are sadly very correct. 30,000 women are let go each year from companies, from working, even if it's not a very high-paying job, they're still let go when they get pregnant. That is because of the lack of maternity leaves for women, the lack of parental leave for men and women, and also because of the burden that comes from giving women half pay when they are on maternity leave. That's obviously another reason why economic independence for women is not as well visualized as it should be right now. And that is another reason why gender equality is it's a work in progress. Even now, you can see that there are some shocking statistics, as you can see here today. But it seems that most of you have a good idea of how shocking the statistics actually are, considering most of you got the right answers. So based on that, I would now like to ask you, if you have stayed for some of the conferences, some of the panels, I would now like to ask you, what are your key takeaways for today? Oh, by the way, this is the leaderboard. Congratulations, Sandra Hotsturger, you got the most points. And we also have Carl Gustav. Okay, let's move on. What are your key takeaways from the conference today? That is based on your experiences of what you experienced in the conferences today, but also of what you expected the conference to be before you joined it. At the end of the day, how do you feel? What do you think we could have done, emphasize on more? Or yes, what are your key takeaways from this conference? You will be able to add, I think, 3 answers. There is a word limit of 25 letters, I think. And yeah, and once you all submit it, you will see how common your answer is, or how, yeah, uncommon your answer is over here. I will keep quiet for a bit so to let you think, but you have the next 10 seconds to write out your answer for this question. Congrats. Oh, wow, there's more coming in. Still so much to do. I agree. Kindness is empowering. I also agree. Women need more space. I mean, this is COVID. We do expect a bit more space. Yes. Thank you for the nice conference. Religious feminism, that is indeed correct. We do need more, a more understanding of what religious feminism. Actually, who answered religious feminism? I would like to hear a bit more about what you mean by that. This is an interactive episode. Anyone who is available, could you just raise your hand? And if anyone wants to speak about what they mean by your key takeaways, please raise your hand and then I will let you take the floor. No one wants to explain the answers? I mean, we're still getting a lot more. Okay, then let's just move on. But yes, I'm really happy to see that there are lots of unique answers over here. Economic independence is one of them. And there's obviously, yes, women are working twice as hard, double as hard to achieve the same respect or the same considerations as our male counterparts. Unrecognized workload, which is absolutely correct. There is something called the mental burden that I asked all of you to look up maybe after this conference. It is something that women are tasked with when you are running a household, when you are living with a partner, when you are even in a workplace. That's something women are constantly expected to take on and not always have a payback for it. But yes, you're absolutely right. Now, the final question. And this is a bit more of a, like I said, personal question to all of you. What does gender equality mean to you? How do you define gender equality in your life, in your experience? What is true gender equality, and do you think you will achieve it, at least within your lifetime? I will leave you to think about that, and after that, we do have a question or something. That's very nice. Broad authenticity. I actually really like that answer. You're absolutely right. It is not just tokenism. We have to show it through our actions, through our systems by actually making a difference. I think someone raised their hand. Natalia raised her hand. Would you like to share something, Natalia?
Oh, yeah, sorry. That was about your previous question about the...
Feel free to share.
Oh, yeah. I had this thought that reproduction is actually a huge burden on women. And during the pandemic, it was... well, that thought originated during the panel on women during pandemic. Well, intimate violence against women increased during that time. And then the burden of household chores also increased on women on that time. And I realized that a single and childless woman would probably have it easier. And yeah, that just being partnered with a man and having kids with a man is a burden. And I think the pandemic showed it. Very controversial statement, but that's my takeaway.
It is controversial, but it is a conference. We expect to hear a lot of different ideas, but does anyone want to say something to that maybe? Does anyone have a question for that or a reply? No? Oh, we do. Please. You may speak.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to say that I fully agree with this statement. And I think it's very important, as we're striving to find more and more equality and more fairness in this world, also to think about really different options, just as we have to rethink the past which was always male dominated. As we're searching for more equality in our today's life, we also have to rethink the actual need to have children, and also see it as a very much part of our conditioning in many, many, many cases. And much too frequently women, in my opinion, women decide to have a child when they're not really ready or they don't really want to. So it's an indirect kind of burden of the past on them as well. And I think it's important to rethink it for all of us.
That is absolutely right. The expectations that women have to uphold, and the having a child is one of them. Having a child when you're not ready is one of them. And yes, that is something that should be destigmatized, I think. Wanting to have a child at a certain time, not wanting to have a child at a certain time. I do think it does give a woman a lot more independence when you're not being tasked of taking care of a child when you're not very ready for it. Miss Christina Daletska, would you like to say something?
No, that was me just talking.
Oh, okay. I think your
Thank
hand
you.
is still up.
Sure.
Thank you so much then. We will. Who else? Does anyone else have anything else they want to verbalize right now before we still do have about 10-15 minutes, and it's a good way to get your voice across. Does Antonia, and am I saying it right? Would you like to say what you were saying, Miss Antonina?
Hi everyone. Yes, Antonina, you were saying it right. So this really inspired me, how the last question on Mentimeter was, what does gender equality means to you? Because I haven't really thought about it. I mean, there are a lot of things what gender equality means. There are a lot of models and concepts. You hear them, you study them, you adapt them to yourself. But I just realized that gender equality is not just about demanding women to be held up to male standards, but changing a system in such a way that it's suitable for women as well. And a woman being allowed to play by men's rule doesn't make her equal. Just because she's included in the man's world doesn't make her equal, because the game is constructed for men. And so I think that gender equality is a change of a system towards a more women appropriate, or a more like a system where not just women are allowed to sit at the same table and participate in male conversations, but rather tailoring the system in such a way that it can be inclusive for women in a way that, yeah, it's more feminine, I guess. I don't really have a very good, theory to back it up, or even a model, but I hope you understand what I mean. Thank you for giving me the floor. Amazing conference.
Thank you very much. My team and I did work very hard despite everything. And I would like to now thank everyone who attended and stayed this late. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating, because it is not just the speakers and it is not just the team that makes a conference happen. It's supposed to be a dialogue between the people like you as well, participants as well. So I would really like to thank all of you for your questions, all of you for your interest. If you do have something you want to share, you are more than welcome to email us at DASICON at da@vienna.at. It will be available in the chat. If not, you can contact us through our website as well. Thank you again for coming, and yes, have a nice day and keep fighting for gender equality, everyone, in every way you can.